Hi, welcome to Chard Review. She is a teenage girl living somewhere in Korea. At the beginning of the film, she sits in front of a group of teachers and tells them about her passion for music and singing. As the adults listen carefully, she also claims her innocence. Yet the collective decide that it would be best if Gongju transfers to another school where she can start a new life. They do not reveal the reason she is being transferred. Gongju has no idea what she is going to do next, so a teacher leans into volunteers to help her. He finds a reputed school for her in another town and stays with her throughout the moving process. After arriving in the new town, Wangjo now has to look for accommodation. Her teacher suggested she stay with his mother, Miss Cho, who happens to be a local at the town. At first, she refuses to let a stranger stay at her house, but upon being pressed by her son, she allows Gwangjo to move in for only a week. The following day, Gwangjo goes to her new school. She's introduced to the class by her homeroom teacher. After school, she runs to a cyber cafe and looks for her mother's location on the internet. It turns out that Gongju's mother had left her and her father a long time ago. She currently lives with her new husband in the same town, but has no clue her daughter has moved into the town as well. Wanyu's father is an alcoholic who doesn't care about her whereabouts. After the infrared filter to the cyber cafe, she returns to Mrs. Cho's convenience store and helps her out with the customers. Because of her kindness, the old lady begins to like her. The following day at school, Wangjo is walking down the hall when she peers through her classroom window and sees a small group of girls rehearsing an a cappella song. She loves to sing, but is too socially anxious to work in groups. When she locks eyes with one of the girls in the group, she quickly runs away. Then goes to her swimming class. After coming to town, she has started to show interest in learning how to swim. After the class, Wangjo is in the changing room, humming to his song. The girl who saw her earlier in the school named In. He happens to be the leader of the a cappella group when he hears her singing and secretly records her. Later, she approaches Gwangjo and tells her she would be great in the music team. In contrast to what he had expected, Gongju is furious at her for invading her privacy. She refuses to join the music group and storms off. Following that, she goes to her mother's house, having found where she lives. She's overjoyed to see her, but her mother doesn't reciprocate the emotions. After talking for a while, she is told that she cannot stay with her mother because of her stepfather. A heartbroken Gangji returns home after the encounter. The following day at school, Wangjo notices that the music room is empty. She takes the opportunity to play the guitar and sing. While she is at it, he and her friends listen to her from outside the room. They are impressed by her singing, but she stops playing as soon as she sees them. She walks out while being followed by the entire group. They compliment her voice and ask her to play in the band, but Gongju walks away ignoring them entirely. When she goes to Miss Shu's store, she sees a bunch of women harassing the old woman. She doesn't intervene and simply returns to her room. It has been a week since she moved into the house, so she has to leave the next day. She packs up her luggage, still unsure where she is about to go. Before leaving, she's farewell to Mrs. To her surprise, the woman asked her to stay there as long as she wants. She has grown to prefer being with Gongju to being alone in the house. Starting that day, Gongju gets along with the girls at the school. They practice together every day and get along well. That is until one day one of the girls takes a video of Gongju. It angers her so much that she throws her phone away. The next day, Gongju's teacher Lien Du visits her. He tells her that all the boys who assaulted her have been arrested. Since the evidence is strong, their bail is almost impossible. Still, their parents are looking for her everywhere. One day at school, Gongju was told that the girl sent a video of her singing to a music label that wants to sign her. They had expected her to be happy about it, but in contrast she asked them to never invade her privacy like that again. An enraged Ganji walks away while the girls are left confused. After school Young tries to talk to her, but she dismisses her concerns. Young. He is patient and doesn't feel bad even when Ganju is rude to her. That night Gangji goes to Yu and his house for a sleepover. While talking, she is asked if she has ever kissed a boy before. Weirdly enough, Gongju claims that she has kissed 43 men. He thinks it is a joke and laughs it off. In reality, Gongju was assaulted by a group of 43 boys. That was the reason she was kicked out of the school and had to leave the town. That evening, she meets her father for dinner at a restaurant. He asked her to sign a paper, but doesn't disclose the contents of it. One day, Gongju is with her friends when they asked her about her dream in life. She claims that she wants to learn how to swim at least 25 meters. The girls just laugh at her. Later, she gets a call from Lee Nandu, who asks her how the meeting with her dad went. When she tells him about the papers she signed, Lee gets upset and tells her to never sign papers without knowing the contents. Upon reaching home, she calls her father, but he doesn't pick up. She realizes that she signed a petition for her assaulters to be let free. Her father must have been bribed by the parents to make her sign them. When she goes to school the next day, she finds out her friends posted a video of her singing on the internet. Gongju freaks out and yells at them to delete it, having had enough of her rudeness. One of the girls says that everyone hates her, and they only talk to her because of you and he. Following that, the girls are in a class when all of a sudden a group of people enter the classroom and gather around Guangzhou. It turns out they are the parents of the assaulters who wanted to sign some papers and let their sons out of prison. They only stop harassing her when he brings the principal. Gongju runs to a dark room and cries alone. A flashback shows us that before all of this, she used to work at a convenience store in her hometown. The son of the owner and her classmate, Dong Yun, used to be bullied by his classmates. One day, he comes into the store with cuts and bruises and picks up snacks without paying for them. On looking outside, she sees that the guy is giving the snacks to his group of friends. The only friend Gongju has is Wok, who she adores. Wok is also Dong Yun's girlfriend. The two come to Gongju's house frequently to hang out. When Gandhi returns home that day, she sees Dong Yun and his friends in the living room. Dong Yun was bullied by them to find a place for them to spend the night, even while OK is with the group and is clearly drunk. Gongju asked them to get out of her house instantly. They refuse to obey her at first, but pack up their things when she says her father is about to return home. On their way out, she also asked them to leave Dongjun alone. From now onwards, the leader of the group threatens to shut her up. To assert his dominance, he uses a stapler on Dongwon's stomach. The scared Gongju calls the police and tells them her location, but one of the guys snatches the phone away from her. After that day, the guys continue to come to her house frequently to party. Gongju feels hopeless because she can't do anything about. At one of such parties, they mix a drug with a glass of alcohol and ask her to drink it. When she refuses, Dongjun insists that the boys will leave only after she drinks it. Not thinking much of it, she chugs it down. After she starts to feel the effects of the drug, they forcefully pin her down and abuse her in the worst ways. In the other room, they do the same to her friend Ha. One of them shoots a video of her and uploads it to a website. After hours of torture, they only stopped when Dungeon's father arrives at the house. Instead of informing the authorities, he simply stops his son from abusing one of the girls and takes him away. After the incident, while Kay jumps off a bridge and commits suicide. Gongju is devastated at her best friend's death and informs the police about everything that happened. Because of this, she was transferred to another school and she was made to leave the city for her own safety. Back in the present, the school principal asked her what made the parents attack her, but Gongju says nothing. Mrs. Zhou's boyfriend, who is also a policeman, comes to the school and brings her back home after being explained the situation. He tells Mrs. Zhou everything about Gongju's past and asks her to kick her out of the house, because the parents might attack them for keeping her. Before they finish the conversation, Gongju comes downstairs with their luggage ready to leave. Mrs. Zhou's boyfriend stops her midway and hands her Dongyun's release papers. He claims that the guy was forced to assault her, so he should be let free even after suggesting to kick her out of the house. He wants her to do him a favor and sign the papers. Gongju understands this and inquires why she should be the one to run away when the others are the ones at fault. That night, Gongju stays at a sauna and calls her father. When he doesn't pick up, she calls her teacher Li Nandu, who informs her father has taken the petition money and run away. The next morning she boards a train. In the meantime, Yuan He and her group find the video of Guangzhou being assaulted on the internet. Unable to watch their friend beg for help, they shut the computer. They finally realized why Gangji was the way she was young. He texts her to ask her where she is and to say that it is not her fault. In the last scene, Gongju jumps off a bridge and into the river. But she is seen swimming away instead of drowning. In the background, Gongju is asked why she wants to learn to swim so badly. She replies that she wants to start over in case she changes her mind, indicating that she was always planning to jump off a bridge and wanted to have an option of saving herself in case she changed her mind. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. Thank you for watching.